Hi everybody, I'm Waiting Moose, and today I want to talk to you about running gear. So it's December and it's time to start looking at our New Year's resolutions. I know, excuse me for a moment. I'm celebrating Vlogmas. So that means I have to vlog every day of December. And you don't want to hear about books for 31 straight days. So what I'm going to do is talk to you today about New Year's resolutions. I am a runner. I may not look like it, but I ran a half marathon a few years ago with a friend. I was very slow. I walked a lot of it, but I did it. And I really want to train for another one. I've been working on it. Unfortunately, I've had some setbacks and things that happened that get in the way of that training, and it's really easy sometimes for me to step away from the training. One of my New Year's resolutions this year is probably going to be to start running again. In 8 of that, I thought I would post about it on here, and then I've got a whole bunch of people to keep me accountable. Not that that's your job. Maybe some of you would like to start training with me. I'm going to be starting with the Couch to 5K program again, just because it's been a while since I ran. I had a couple injuries, and then the heat in the summer got too much, and I just kept coming up with excuses after excuses. So first, I wanted to go through, if you are going to start running, if you're a new runner, there's some gear tips I can give you. I'm not really a seasoned runner, so there's not a lot of really good tips I can give you, but I can definitely tell you about gear and what is important and what is not, because some things are just nice to have. Don't get them just because someone else has them. Get them because you need them and you can afford them. So the first thing is, you're running, you're on your feet. The only thing you absolutely need to have is a good pair of shoes. Now, do your research on this. There's a lot of information out there about just whether you should have a flat shoe or whether it should have a thicker heel, whether there's cushioning is better for you, whether a minimalist shoe is better for you. Absolutely do your research. Because I am heavier, I choose to go for a cushioned shoe. I go with men's also because I'm heavier. So the men's shoes are typically built for a heavier body, so they're a little sturdier than a women's shoe, and they also tend to be wider in the forefoot. And I go for that just because I apparently have flippers for feet, and my heel is quite narrow, but when it gets down to my toe, it like spreads out and it gets all comfy. And typically, when I ran my half marathon, I did most of my training in a regular width women's shoe, and on the side where my pinky toe is, I actually like sprung out of it. Sound effects and everything. It made that sound. No, it didn't. And so that was a concern. When I went to a real running store, we'll talk about that in a second, but when I went to a real running store, the first thing they did was look at that and go, your shoe is not wide enough. You need a wider shoe. And so I had, blisters on that toe, and I had some other issues with my feet through that training. And a lot of it came down to my shoes. So you want to make sure that you get the right shoe. I'm lucky, I have 2 independent running stores in my community. I will be honest, you will find that when you go to an independent running store, the shoes that you find there are not going to be inexpensive. But they're your feet. You get one set of them. I'm not saying buy your shoes there. I'm also not saying go in, get fitted, and then walk out and don't spend the money. But I think it's in your best interest to make sure that you have the proper gear for yourself. These are Brooks Glycerin shoes. They're men's because I'm heavier. I just bought them in the spring. Normally, I probably would have worn them out by now, but I have not just because I was lazy most of the summer. I actually got these at the Running Room, which is it's a chain in Canada, and they're fine, but they were also the ones that fit me with a pair of shoes too narrow. So now that I've gone to a good running store, I know what I need. I can go in there and I can pick the right shoe for me. But I went to a good running store with good runners working in the store, people that knew what they were doing, and got fitted properly and found out what kind of shoe I should be wearing. That's all I'm going to say about that. But shoes are important. That's really the most important thing. Next is water. So when you first start running, you probably aren't going to really need a lot of water with you. A lot of people don't even take water for a 5K. I do because I'm slow, and I just like to make sure that I have liquids. And if it's hot, I definitely make sure I take water. Because I've trained for a half marathon, I have this, which is a fuel belt, and it has a pouch on the front. You'll see that it's dirty. So this pouch will take, you can put tablets in it if you want to get your electrolytes, That way, again, this is only if you're doing really long distances. You don't need electrolytes for a 5K or goo or anything like that. And then it's got 4 little elasticy thingies where the water bottle goes. A lot of women don't like these ones because, so this is the back of it, and this sits around your hips. So while you're running, boop, 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 you've got something bouncing on your butt, and a lot of women are just not comfortable with that. Me, I don't care. I figure at my size, no one's really looking at my butt anyway, and if they are, they deserve what they get. So this I use when I'm training for a lot of the longer distance runs, when I start getting into like 8 to 10 miles in my training runs. So I don't use those often. I actually have this one, which I have had for a while, and it's kind of handy. It's got a zippered pocket for your keys or gels or whatever else you take. And then it's got like a standard sports bottle pocket. And I would show you the sports bottle that comes with it, but I think I left it at work. I'm actually pretty sure I left it at work. And I'll tell you why at the end of this, because I want to talk about how to fit running in, because sometimes that's not so easy either. I talked about electrolytes, and this is something that, again, you're going to have to do your research on, but it's not something you're going to use as a beginner. You're probably not even going to use it if you get into 5K races. You might for 10K. I do for 10K just because I'm that slow. And if I'm going to be over an hour, I take, or I think I might be over an hour, I take these. Yes, it takes me over an hour to do a 10K. Or if I'm running in a lot of heat, like on humidity, because I try to do those runs though in the summer in the morning before the sun comes up, because otherwise it's too much, especially I've got a lot of insulation. My favorite, I used to use Gatorade because it was easy to find and I knew what it tasted like, but then I switched to Nun, N-U-U-N. They're fantastic little effervescent tabs. You drop them in your water and they taste great, and they're quite common actually. So I get these at Sport Check, but you can get them pretty much a lot of places. In the summer though, especially if it's warmer out or I feel like I'm going to sweat more, even if I'm going to only go out for 5K or a shorter training run, anything over half an hour, I will take water and I'll throw in some of this. They're the Mio electrolytes. I don't think there's a lot of electrolytes in here. Like there's 40 milligrams of potassium and 80 milligrams of sodium. I'll put a little squirt in there. It gives it a nice little flavor, and if I know I'm going to sweat a lot, which I do, it's nice to have that little bit of backup, and these are 0 calories, so that's always nice too. So that's really, you know, your basics. When you start running, well, you need clothes. I have a lot of technical t-shirts. I actually have been buying them. I bought my last ones at Marshall's for $14, $12 or $14. So you can get deals. You can absolutely get deals on all of this gear because it's not cheap. A lot of it. I would not recommend running in cotton. You will sweat, and it does not breathe well. Well, it breathes well, but it doesn't wick away your sweat. So anything cotton you wear just kind of gets weighed down and heavy, and your sweat just sits there, and that's not what you want. I have my shirt on inside out. That's how I roll. I have this lovely shirt. It's long sleeved because it's winter time here in Canada. It has a little hole for my thumb so I can pull it down over my hands and keep my hands a little warmer. I don't like wearing mitts. I find when I do wear mitts or gloves, my hands get too hot. Especially if it's only right around freezing, it has to be really cold before I'm going to put on something over my fingertips. I sweat a lot. I get really hot when I run. So I don't wear a toque unless I have to, unless it's really cold. I don't wear a scarf. I don't wear any of that. I've got this long sleeved shirt. It's lovely. This one actually has a phone pocket in the back, which is wonderful. I didn't bring them, but I've got earbuds. And so when I run, I put in my earbuds. And the great thing about my phone is I can set it up to, I can download an app that'll do the Coach to 5K program. So it tracks which ones I've done, and then it knows which one I need to do next, and it takes all the thought process out of it. I absolutely recommend doing a Coach to 5K program to start running because that really helped me. It made sure that I didn't go too far too fast, which it feels great when you're doing it, but then you're going to find out later that you get an injury, and it takes a lot to recover from an injury when you're a runner. So this shirt, fantastic. I actually got it at a plus size store because there are plus size stores out there that sell good quality running gear, and I found that it's not as tight as some of the ones. Like if I go to a running store, they're a little snug, and I don't like the really tight fit. And so I bought this at Additional. They've got great technical clothes. I've also bought stuff from Under Armour and Reebok and Nike, all of them. And I love them all. They've got great products. My leggings that I wear for running most of the time are Diadora, D-I-A-D-O-R-A, and they're great. They're a bit of a heavier legging, so I feel like I don't bounce as much in them. And they've got a little pouch at the back to put your keys or whatever you need to. And I wear my capri length ones most of the time, unless again it gets really cold out. And then I've got some longer yoga pants that I bought at Costco, and I wear those when it gets colder out. Other gear that it's handy to have when you're taking up running is a hat. These are fantastic in the summer. I've worn this so much, which sucks because I sweat a lot. So I put this on and it comes back just soaking wet. I throw it in the washing machine every so often. Yeah, it was just washed recently. Sorry, it was just washed recently, and it like survives everything. I've taken it kayaking, I've taken it running, hiking, everything. And it's fantastic because it is wicking and it will help keep your head cool. It's got little vents in the side. Ponytail, very important. I can put a ponytail at the back. I don't prefer to wear a hat because it just makes my head hotter, but if I have to, in the sun, in the heat, I will, absolutely, and the white is fantastic. And since we're talking about weather, I have a fantastic running jacket. This was a Christmas present last year, so this is from the running room. I bought it there, or I was given it, actually. My husband bought it there. It's got reflective material, excellent in Canada because during the winter we run at night, so it's nice to know there's so much reflective material in this that someone's going to see me in the rain, in the snow, whatever. It's a nice bright color, so it's very visible. It's longer in the back, so it covers your back. It doesn't have a hood, but that's okay because I wear a hat anyway if it's raining out. But that's my running jacket, and I love it. I've worn it a few times. It actually kept me going through some of the rain this summer in training for the half marathon I was supposed to do and didn't do. We'll get into cold weather stuff because it is winter out there and it's Christmas. So this is another, I bought this. I took a Learn to Run clinic at the running room and they give you a 20% off coupon, I think, or 10% off, I can't remember which. And they had these, which was funny because it was summer, but they had these winter things. So it's a fleece. Basically, it's got, no, it doesn't have pockets. It's got a little extra stuff around your wrist to keep your wrists warm. It's got the little thumb hole like my shirt that I'm wearing has. And then it's got this, which is like a face mask. So it's perforated. You can see there's little holes in it so you can breathe. And it's got a hood to keep your head warm. So I bought this for fall and spring running. And I love it. It's so warm. It's perfect. And I love the color of it. So it's nice to be able to layer your clothes. I can put this under that jacket and get that little extra layer of heat, which is fantastic. And that's my running gear that I have here. And fitting running in. So it's really easy when you're only running about half. Well, it's not easy. Easy to make excuses is what it is. That's what's easy. But it's easy, I find, to fit it in sometimes. I used to run at night after I got home from work, but I have quite a commute. I've mentioned that before. And I don't like, you know, getting home late. I go to bed about 9 because I have to get up at 5 to get ready to go to work. So I don't really like running after work. I tried running in the mornings, but when you have to get up at 5 to go to work, you pretty much have to get up at like 4 to run and then shower and get ready for work. And it doesn't work that well. So I started running at lunchtime. But this piece of hair is like, I know you straightened me, but I'm just going to sit here and stick straight out because that's what I'm going to do. I used to run, I like to run at lunch. Now, part of the reason I like doing that is because in the winter, it is unpleasant to run at night. It's always dark, and it's always dark in the morning. Like, I get up to go to work in the dark. It gets light about 7:30, and then I come home in the dark because by the time I get home at 5, it's already dark. It's depressing. And I don't like running in the dark, especially if it's going to be icy out because it makes it harder to see the ice. I have yak tracks that I stick on my shoes, which helps, but I still don't feel always safe doing that. So I like running at lunchtime, and I'm lucky that where I work is extremely close to some river running paths, and I can go out, and if I'm only going to run a half hour, so a quick training run, like most of the Couch to 5K stuff is half hour based, like it's time based and you'll run no more than a half hour. So I go out, I run my half hour, I go back to the office, I shower. I do get an hour lunch, which makes it easier. A lot of people don't. I understand that, so this won't work for you. But I get an hour for lunch, so I go out, I come back, I shower, and I go back to my desk. And it sucks because I'll have a red face. I'll go back and I'll spend 2 hours with just this big, bright red face at my desk and people going, "Are you okay?" But yeah, it's because I went for a run. So that's how I fit it in, is I fit it in at lunch. So I've got a towel at work. I've got showers at work. So I have like a towel at work. They have hair dryers in the bathroom, in the shower, like in the change room. The ladies' change room has hair dryers. So I have to take a towel, I leave it at work. I don't need to carry it back and forth. I bring it home once a week, wash it, and take it back. I have shampoo at work. I have deodorant at work. I have everything I need pretty much at work except makeup. But I don't get up and put that on in the morning anyway. So I can go to work. I can pretty much do my run, back, shower, get ready, go back to work. And I try to do it in under an hour, and that usually means that I'm eating my lunch at my desk afterwards, hoping that there's no meeting, because otherwise it's going to take a while to get to my lunch. So that's how I fit running in. I typically go very slow because even when I'm done the Couch to 5K program, I'm not running 5K. That's not really how it works for me because I'm slow. So, and this time I want to build up a bit more. I've had a bunch of half marathons scheduled that I've had to cancel and back out of for various reasons, and I'm hoping next year I'll finally be able to do one, but I'm not really going to plan one until I know that I can do it because I don't want to get injured trying to do it. I talked really fast doing that. That's my tips. Am I running? Trying to get myself motivated to run again this year. I'm hoping actually to start again before Christmas, but we'll see. Thanks to the snow today, everything's going to be icy for a bit, and I'm still a little sore from the accident, so I don't know when that's going to happen, but I am going to be starting running soon. I kind of hope you join me. Well, not join me, because wherever you are and wherever I am, we're unlikely to run together, but I hope I've inspired you or given you some motivation that someone like me can run. That means someone like you can too. And I hope my tips and my information here have helped. If you have any questions, leave them down below. If you have any tips you feel like I missed, absolutely leave them down below. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. Happy holidays, everyone.